Okay. All right. Welcome. Here we go. We are. Don't start singing, Troutman. Hello, everybody. What's wrong with me? Oh, welcome to season 6, episode 2 of the Big Week podcast. But why do I do that every time? I'm gonna stop doing that, y'all, because we're not in the club and there's no air horns. Why am I making an air horn every time? I'm going to come up with a new noise next time, next episode. And I'm going to be like, welcome to the Big Week podcast. Peewee. I don't know what I want to say, but it will not be an air horn. But either way, welcome to episode 2 of the Big Week podcast, season 6. It's all about love. I'm so happy to have you here today. And welcoming our first guest of the season today. My beautiful, wonderful, talented, stupendous friend, Carmeon Hamilton, is going to be in the studio with us today. I already know the conversation is going to be full of love. She is one of the most loving, bright, joyful souls that I know. And I am so happy for you all to be able to listen to us have a beautiful conversation. Let's see. What do I have going on right now, my friends? Yeah, you know what? I'm tired today. I'm just gonna tell you that. I'm tired. I woke up early, but I've been traveling this week and I did something that I never do. I had like a 24-hour turnaround. I had to go to a meeting in Atlanta. And instead of doing what I normally would do, which is like stay for a few days, see how many meetings I can pack in and do the things, I literally got on a plane one night, had a dinner meeting, had meetings during the day, and then got on the plane at 11 o'clock last night and came home. So I didn't get home to my house till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I woke up and had a full day. I haven't had a break since 8 o'clock. So like, I am tired today, but I still feel really happy to be with you because I have things I want to tell you. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you about yesterday because I went to what I think might be my favorite conference I ever went to. And I don't really like conferences. I generally actually dislike them. But I went to the Policy Link Equity Summit. And Policy Link is an organization in DC, and they really think about progressive policies. And they had this conference, and it was called, the theme was a revolution of the soul. But the real conversation, guess what it was about? It was about love. It was a political policy conversation that was all about love. Like 3 or 4 days, 3,000 people who were there to talk about politics and policy, but the whole theme was love. There were flowers everywhere and beautiful lights everywhere and amazing people everywhere. And it was like the most human-centered conference I think I've ever been to. There was like a gift shop where you can go and pick out your own merch and get pictures of the American flag and flowers on your shirt that say, policy for everyone is how we thrive, or all. They had this whole thing about all means all. Like if you want to build a progressive future for America, you have to literally include every single person. And there was a whole beautiful panel with my beautiful wonderful friend Crystal Echo Hawk from Illuminative and Linderstar Store, and Michael, who runs Policy Link, and folks from Latinx communities, and a white man from the poor white community. And then, of course, the beautiful, beautiful founder, who is the Queen Mother, who we love so much. And it was like the most beautiful conversation about what it will take for us all to come together as a nation and actually learn how to love each other in practice and policy. And y'all know that's my favorite thing to talk about. So I was in heaven for my 24 hours. And then, can you believe this? The first day of the conference was no meetings. They had everybody invited into the conference to be able just to experience their own humanity. They had cooking classes. Some people went kayaking. Some people went and did aerial, like I don't know what you call that when you have like the ropes in the air and then you like do things on the silk threads. What do you call that? Aerial something. I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. And they had like other art classes and walks in the park, and it was amazing. It was like, come to this conference where we're going to talk about the future of America, but first, let's talk about the future of yourself. and then let's talk about the future of who we are collectively, and then let's figure out how we're gonna do it. It was really honestly, like, that to me is how we do this, y'all. It's like being able to really think about love as a core value and integrate it into everything that we are doing, even when it feels like it doesn't belong, like in a space of policy, public policy and politics. Like that's where it belongs the most. We talked about this last week, y'all. Like I'm not gonna start talking about this election again. Not today. Not today. That's it. Okay, we don't have a lot of time because I really wanted to make space for the conversation with Carmeon. So let me go ahead and tell you my top 3 for the week. I'm actually mostly excited about them. It's one I'm not excited about at all, but I'm gonna tell you about it anyway. First, I want to tell you that Toby and Wigway has a new song out. I think it's gonna be a whole album. No one has said that to me, but like the way that the content, the videos, and the song is really set up, it seems like something is coming. The song is called Anointing, and it features a woman named Yael Hinton. Is that her name? Yes, Yael Hinton. And of course, Baby Fat's on there at the end saying, like, what does she say? I wrote it down so I would say, she says, but you have an anointing and you all know. Now, this song is like only 2 minutes, but it is a powerful and beautiful 2 minutes. And the lyrics really are like, uh, about the power of spirit and letting the power of spirit take over you. And my favorite line is like, let the power to treat everybody right fall on me. And then at the end, they're like, you have the anointing and you all know. So I feel like something really powerful is coming, and the hashtag they're using is hood him. So it seems like Toby and the crew are about to send us an album that is going to be full of spirit and full of majesty and full of like direction. So we know where we going in 2025. So like that song is out, the video is out, it's gorgeous. If you have not seen it, it is worth your 2 minutes to go look at it. Yeah, that's important. Yes. The second thing I'm gonna see, I just looked at the thing that I don't want to talk about and I'm gonna wait. So the second thing I'm gonna talk to you about is for all my nerds out there. Y'all know probably season 4. We talked about Hakeem Olusei and the book that he wrote. He is like my celebrity crush. Y'all know. I mean, I have nerd celebrity crushes. My celebrity crush is a astrophysicist at NASA who talks on TV about space. So we talked about his book a couple years ago. If you still haven't read it, you should read it because it is amazing. But he has a new podcast and nobody told me. Y'all just keep keeping stuff from me and I don't like it. But Hakeem has his new podcast. It is called something. What's it called? I used to know. I think it's called Does It Fly? That's what it's called. It's called Does It Fly? And then him and this other woman who is an actress, her name is Tamara Krinsky. They talk about all these things in pop culture and like, are they actually scientifically sound? It is like ultra nerdy, y'all. Like this is not like it's not Star Wars, it's not Marvel. It's like straight up science, which I love. I'm enjoying the podcast very much. So if you are very much nerdy like me and you like to hear about how things work or if they will work, then you should listen to this podcast, Does It Fly? Because you will hear Does It Fly from my favorite astrophysicist, Hakeem Olusei. Okay, here we go. Now here's the thing I don't want to talk about. I'm so excited to talk about this thing, but I don't want to watch it because it's scary. And y'all know I don't like scary movies. But our favorite niecey poo, Zoe Kravitz, who is the daughter of the most amazing couple ever to exist for a short time, Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet, has gotten into directing. Are we so proud of our little niecey poo, Zoe? So Zoe has a movie. It just came out in the theaters. It's called Blink Twice. I am so proud and I'm so excited and I really want to go see this movie. I hate horror movies. I hate them with the passion that burns deep inside my soul. I do not know why I would pay anybody $10 or $20 or $50 to scare me. I don't like haunted houses. I don't like suspense. I don't like movies where an animal's going to come out and eat your leg off. I do not like y'all. What's that zombie show that was on? Not the one that was on HBO last year. I actually really loved that movie. It was really beautiful. But like the old school one that was on like TBS. What was it called? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't remember the name of it. That's how much I blocked it out. I decided I was gonna watch it because everybody was watching this zombie show. And I remember being on the Amtrak train going from DC to New York, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this show on the train because I have a free 2 hours. When I tell y'all 15 minutes in, I closed that laptop so hard and I never looked back because why am I making myself feel like this on purpose? It's terrible. So I have agreed with my friends to go see Blink Twice on Friday. I'm very nervous about it. I'm going to go see it. That means you have to go see it. If I'm going to go see it, you got to go see it because I don't like being scared. But what I do like is Zoe Kravitz. That's my little boo. We're going to always ride for Zoe Kravitz because that's our niecey poo. So go see Blink Twice. It's Channing Tatum is in it. I think they're engaged. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'll leave that to myself for another day. So y'all go see Blink Twice, okay? So Hakeem's podcast, Blink Twice, Toby and Wigway. Go take in all the things. Let them transform you. Let them make you more loving. Let them make you think about your life. So now you get to talk to my friend. Our guest today is Carmeon Hamilton. Carmeon is a designer, an investor. She is a Memphian through and through. She was born in Arkansas, but like when you think about ride or die Memphians, don't nobody go hard like Carmeon. So I'm excited for you to get to talk to her. Carmeon is a social media influencer also. If you don't follow her already, you definitely should follow her at Carmeon Hamilton. She's on Instagram. She will show you all the cute fashion. She will show you all the beautiful home design. She will always give you a good coffee mug shot. She will always make you laugh, talk about her family. She's amazing. And she's my friend, and she gets to come and talk to you today. So let's talk to Carmeon. Before we even start, I want to warn everyone. This is going to be the most laughs that you've ever heard on an episode. Because I don't know anybody who laughs more than me
except me
than Carmeon Hamilton. So you got the two laughingest people in all of Memphis. Maybe in the Mid-South. Dare I say America?
I would agree. Indeed.
On the podcast today.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. You know why I'm excited?
Why?
Because I both love and am intrigued by you.
Oh.
And there are like, as much as we see each other, we rarely
like
get to just talk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that we've ever like had one-on-one extended chats more than like a few times.
Yeah.
In the years, I think we met the first time, maybe 2020. I think we talked on the phone during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you all the time, but it's often in social situations.
Indeed. Yeah, we don't get this.
We don't.
No.
Of all people to not have that.
I know, because I need it.
I do.
Like I'm gonna call you after this.
Hey girl, anytime. You got my number.
I'm calling.
So everybody, this is my friend Carmeon Hamilton.
Hi everyone.
I think I know all your identities, but I want to allow you to introduce yourself and tell the people what you want them to know about you.
Oh, okay.
And also, welcome to the Big Wee podcast.
Thank you.
You're
I love the Big Wee.
Oh.
Well, hello, friends. I am Carmeon Hamilton. I am a mother, interior designer, CEO, and investor. That about covers
You're
it.
so grown.
I know. I'm so grown up.
I love it so much.
I'm so grown up.
I cannot like hear you say all that without talking about your child.
Oh my goodness.
Because he's like big.
Yes.
He's so tall.
We are now
His face
a couple.
Looks different.
Yes. He's gone from my twin to my very handsome brother of some sort. We've gone from, are you taller than me, to you're taller than me. Yeah. And we're in high school. We're almost 16. We want to drive now. But he is still just the sweetest soul. And I'm just grateful for all he brings to my life and his very unproblematic teenage years that we've had so far.
This is a thing that comes across on so for y'all that don't know, Carmeon has a very robust social presence, specifically on Instagram.
Yes.
And we get to see a lot of your life,
Mm-hmm.
which is really fun because you have a fun looking life. I don't know if it's actually fun, but it looks pretty
It
fun.
is. Yes, it's mostly fun.
Yes. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I love about Davin is he is so gentle and sweet.
He is.
My God.
And unbothered. Those three things.
Literally. Literally. And it's like in this, like everyone's been talking about this, like the future of masculinity and all this
Mhm.
stuff. And I'm like,
My baby.
he is the future of
He
masculinity.
is.
And
He
I'm
is.
curious about what it's like for you to raise a boy like that.
Well, I've always held that aspect of raising a son very high on my priority list. I always wanted, well, both my husband and I wanted to raise a well-rounded human before anything. I especially grew up with very strict standards to uphold, and like straight A's were my norm, and overachieving and afraid of failure and all of those things.
Yeah.
And my husband was also an overachiever, but his parents went through divorce when he was 8, and he had to grow up very quickly. His mom had a second child when he was 16, which ultimately became his baby.
Yep.
And so both of us were like, we just want a kid that's going to be a kid for as long as possible. And also growing up after making straight A's your whole life and overachieving, realizing by the time you're 30, don't nobody care about none of that. Like, who cares that you made straight A's?
Yeah.
So we were like, if you can read, write, comprehend, you know, the difference between an inch and a mile and a pound, and people love your spirit. Like, if teachers don't mind you being in their classroom or have wonderful things to say about your character, like, we have overdone our job.
Yeah.
So that was our focus, and making sure that he just cared about other humans was my biggest thing. And so it was my duty, especially after my husband passing away, making sure he was a whole human. Like,
That's
you can
right.
express whatever emotions you have. You are entitled to them. You are entitled to see me fail and apologize and be human myself. And so, yeah, like I just want him to know everything that I didn't know until I was 35 at 10, 12, 15. So
I am sitting here imagining a world where everybody gets parented like that. Y'all did a great, great job.
I am very proud.
Really, like,
him.
honestly. And I wonder, like, how much this season's theme is love.
Yes.
And I like to talk about love in all different ways, right?
Mhm.
And as a matter of fact, like the romantic love is like the least I talk about, right?
I'm sure.
Because I'm like, girl, bye.
Child, please.
That's a different podcast, okay? But
yes, it is.
When we think about love from like just a human understanding, heart to heart, soul to soul standpoint, I'm curious about how the way that you and your husband raised Davin, like, how does that extend into the rest of your life?
So I would say it took lots of iterations of showing up in different ways. The people pleaser in me,
Ooh, girl,
grew up to be an even bigger people pleaser. And it led to a ton of like disappointment or just uncertainty in knowing what I myself wanted.
Yep.
And when you realize you don't know what you want or who you are, it's hard to connect with people on a real level. So it took turning 32. I remember the birthday and everything. And I was like, you know what? My daddy is my friend now. He don't run nothing. My husband is now like, we here. I don't owe you nothing. We chose each other. So since we're choosing each other, you need to choose this version of me, because I just found out who she is. Welcome. And showing up that way at home and with family ultimately bled out into online presence. And like, once you just don't care about other people's perception of you,
Yeah.
it turns into a beautiful human experience for yourself. And then you also see other people that way. Like, I interact with people with zero judgment. I mean, unless I see you doing some like sideways, questionable, okay, need to hang out with you before 7.
That's
Got
right.
it takes so much less energy to belong.
That's ooh.
So being as human as possible in front of my son has led me to be that everywhere. And I just hope to get that back in return from people. But if I don't get it back, I don't care. Okay.
Just keep it moving.
I just keep it moving.
Take them off the list. I know I will not be
Exactly.
calling you anymore.
Exactly. Like, okay, you're weird. No worries.
One of my favorite things I've seen you do online, and I've seen you do it multiple times,
Oh, what have I
is
done?
correct people
Oh,
who don't know how to show up in a loving, kind.
oh,
And that's really hard for people to do. Like, a
it
lot of people
is.
get abused because they don't know how to create a correction.
Yes.
I would love to hear you talk about that.
Yes. That came from letting go of the people pleasing. Like, because if you're constantly disappointed in the way people treat you, you haven't taught people how to treat you.
Yeah.
So I will lovingly go, no, I'm sorry, I can't engage until you actually greet me as a
That's
person.
right.
Like, say hi first.
That's right.
You want something from me, treat me and recognize me as a human first.
Yeah.
And that's basic human decency.
Yeah.
I also grew up that way. You don't get nothing, conversation, breakfast, nothing until you say good morning. So, hello it is. Good morning it is. And also just understanding like people have so many different things that have led to who they are. Like you can't dismiss people's opinions. You can't like, okay, you're entitled to all these things, but what you're gonna do is keep it cute and respectful. Like we could disagree all day, but you can't force your opinions on me and I won't force mine on you.
Yeah.
And correcting people is not only just for me, especially online. I do it out loud because it's happening to me, but I also do it because a lot of people that are following me have to go to work the next day. Like, I want you to treat your coworkers and your employees and your leaders like human beings. Like, if y'all are going to be in these workspaces, if you're not in control of where you work or where you live, you can at least control yourself and create an environment interpersonally that you want to be in if you can't change it physically. So I just try to set an example that way. But yeah, you're going to say my name properly.
Correctly.
Yes,
You're
correctly.
Say, hello,
all 3 syllables, and you're going to greet me. If nothing else, you're going to see me as a human with a 3-syllable name.
That's right.
Yes.
For folks who who don't follow you, I want to just like paint a picture. Because, people are nuts.
Yes.
And like regular everyday people are really nuts.
They are.
And it is because we live in a culture that does not require kindness and does not require basic human decency.
Correct.
Right? So people will roll up on Carmeon's page and be like, where you get them earrings? Without being like,
hey,
hi. I love your earrings. Do you mind sharing where you get them from?
Yes.
And Carmeon will be like, so listen, I know you're new here, but I want to just let you know how we engage with each other.
This is how we act in this corner of the internet.
You must say hello. You must be kind, and then you can basically get
whatever you want. I will give you my social security number sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? But like, god dang, you're not gonna just act like
okay, you say it to Siri. You say hey to her.
Literally. And so the thing that I love about that so much is like you were actually creating a shift in culture through your page and the way that you interact with people. But you do that in so many ways, Carmeon. Like just your existence does that. And like how joyful you are does that. And how like, to your point, how you like to show up in the way that is real and true and honest. And it doesn't ever seem like you're putting on.
Because I'm not. I ain't got time for that.
Right.
But thank you.
So I'm curious about like, How big is your following now on Instagram?
Instagram is 184,000.
And so there's 184,000 people, I mean, barring algorithm and stuff,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Who are watching you as an example of how to show up every day. How did your social media journey start and like why? Why are you doing this?
So I feel like I've been an oversharer my whole life. Um
Ow!
I found out what a blog was in 2005 ish. And just found a couple that were talking about their house buying journey and renovation journey because they had moved away. Both of them had moved away from their families, and it was her mother that was always like, "What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?" So she's like, "I'll just blog about it." And I moved away from my family right after college. I was 5 hours away in my first apartment. And my mom was always like, "What are you doing? What color is it? And where you get it from?" And so I'm like, "Okay, here you go." So I blogged. But at the same time, I was engaged, planning a wedding, and then we called off the wedding. Well, I called off the
Well, there's
wedding.
that.
And then I deleted my Facebook when I called off the wedding.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Girl, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?" So
Yeah.
I just literally telenovela our breakup, everything on my blog. And since then, it went from blogging and then Instagram showed up. I always hated Facebook because I was like, my mom on there, my daddy on there. But Instagram, like, they not over there. And so I've always just shared. But Instagram was a photo platform originally. And being an interior designer, I shared my work there. And I loved it, shared a little bit of behind the scenes or family things. But when Instagram stories became a thing, this is when I got to talk to people. And people saw the girl with the big purple afro and these faces that she was creating. And that's when it was like, "Girl, where them earrings come from? And who curled your hair? And how you get your hair like that? And who does your nails? And oh, where's your jacket from?" And that, I loved it. I loved it because I was working in corporate, but when I got to go home, I had my family and my Instagram family. I'm like, "So girl, what we talking about today? And this what happened today, and this what we're doing." And I just loved interacting with people from all over the place. And it felt like home. Like I've always been a very social person, and having hundreds of people interested in what you're talking about all at once, like, definite dopamine hit, like definitely. And it just grew. Like, the more I talked, the more people liked it, and the more I talked. And it's just this cycle that continued, and here we are.
You're one of the few people who I will like watch every story.
Oh,
Like,
that is an honor.
I'm like, "Oh, what Carmeon got to say today? What what does her cup look like today?"
Which coffee mug did she choose? Yes. Is she at home or at a coffee shop?
Is she
I
in the
love
streets?
that.
No,
love that.
I do. I particularly like your close friend stories, but that's none of your business.
That's none of y'all business. See, I am one of those people that's like, if I'm going to put you in my close friends, I'm going to make it worth your time. I'm going to make that green bubble alert worth your time.
Yes. How has being a social media influencer, if you call yourself that, how has that shaped your life and your work?
I would say my life and my work has shaped how I show up as an influencer. I have always, what do they call it? Something your life. What is it? Vocabulary word. Glamorizing your life.
Yes.
I love a luxurious moment.
You do.
I love coffee.
You do.
I can only drink 1 cup a day, like, or I get the jitters. So I'm gonna make this 1 cup the cup. I'm gonna make it the cup. So I'm that way, and have always been that way. My mom wouldn't let us eat off paper plates because it was too much trash. Right. Not to say the planet, we just didn't like taking the trash out that often. And I grew up feeling that way, like, just throw them in the dishwasher. Yep. And so I'm like, eat your food off of real plates, no matter what that food is, even if it's cheese and crackers. Put it on a real plate, get a real napkin. And that's what, like, I realized when I went to friends' homes or going anywhere, I was the oddball out. So let me share that with other
Mm.
people. Like, you can take advantage of these small, minute moments throughout your day and make them glamorous to give you just a little something extra to push you through the day.
Yeah.
And so that's how I show up. And that's also like the interior designer in me, or I guess that kind of fuels my passion for design, but also just
Mm.
beautiful things. I want people to experience beautiful spaces because I know how much of an effect they have on how we feel.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if you can't have a fully furnished, beautiful home, you can have a beautiful mug for your coffee in the
Mm.
mornings, and it has the same effect. It may last
Mhm.
for the amount of time it takes you to drink that cup of coffee versus you living in this house, but you are entitled to that moment. And I just
Hmm.
want people to experience beauty in any way they can find it. So that's how I
That's so
share my
beautiful.
life.
I
Thank
feel like that's
you.
also how you share your love for humanity.
That is.
You're like, you actually deserve this,
You do, because people
no matter who
do.
you are.
No matter how much money you got,
That's
where you
right.
live, you deserve a beautiful life.
Oh man. That is so
Oh.
nice. Oh God. I am sitting here like and I'm listening to you talk and I keep hearing whispers of your mother and Marcus.
Mhm.
Because I feel like I mean I've heard you obviously talk about both of them. I
Mhm.
met Marcus,
Mhm.
your late husband, and I'm it's wild to me how loving and joyful and open and connected you are and you feel having experienced so much loss in your life. And I
Mhm.
know that like that kind of loss takes people out,
It does.
right?
It does.
And that has not happened to you.
It has not.
And I'm curious about what those experiences has taught you about love, not just that like interpersonal, but just like
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
Cause it's not admirable is not the word. It's
I
like,
wouldn't say admirable either. It's intriguing.
yes, it is.
It's intriguing.
It's intriguing.
It is. I have to
Yes.
agree. I have to agree. I
Are you surprised?
surprised. If I take into account where I feel like it comes from,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Mm.
When I look outside of myself from the lens of other
Yeah.
people, it is surprising. Like,
Mm.
I still get people asking me, "Oh, are you
Are you
okay?
okay?
You okay?" And I'm like,
I'm
I'm
good.
legit
Yeah,
good. I
yeah, yeah,
promise I
yeah.
am. Um, but it stems. I lost my grandmother, my mom's mom,
Mm.
before I lost my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and my grandmother was only 54.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, s- Early 50s, maybe mid 50s, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure. But I was in college
Mm-hmm.
and she was my girl. That was my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I was the favorite of the
Of course you
grandchildren.
are. That's no
Yes,
surprise.
I'm I was.
Do the
I
other
was
cousins know that,
and they did.
Carmeon?
They did because I was the grandchild showing up with the straight
Yeah.
A's, and I
Mm-hmm.
in the newspaper and all the
Mm-hmm.
things. So, and my grandmother was a teacher, and so was my
Mm-hmm.
mom. So I'm doing all the things at school
Yeah.
properly,
Yeah.
and get to come home and show her all the
Yeah.
things. So yes, she was my girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I went rogue at 16 and got my first tattoo,
Okay.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
my parents tried to tell on me to her, and she asked to see it, and it was like, "Girl, that's so pretty."
Spoiled again.
So yes, literally the favorite. But she passed away from breast cancer and
Mm.
went through her sickness. Had her sit me down
Mm.
and plan her funeral. So I sat with her and she would tell me what she
Mm.
wanted the obituary to say, what the menu was going to be for the repast, who was allowed to cook
I know that's right.
certain things,
Mm-hmm.
what she wanted to wear. And I sat by her and I wrote everything
Everything
down.
down.
And it was at the time, I hadn't thought anything different. Like, okay, you're planning for your
Yeah.
death, people die. I didn't realize how many people don't plan to die,
Most
though.
people don't.
Yes.
Even people
And
who are dying
who are
actively
dying
do not
do not
plan to
plan.
die. Yeah.
And this was well before she was truly sick,
Yeah.
sick. So while it was happening, we were kikiing
Yeah.
and it was all good. Yes, pink suit, white tights, white shoes. Yes, ma'am. Got it. And did all of that, but her death was a shock to me.
Yeah.
It was jarring. I was on my way to her house and she passed away 5 minutes before I got there.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, it felt like it broke me because I didn't get to say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
And her death was the first true death, like at adulthood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm in college. She's not gonna see me
Mm.
graduate and be at my wedding and all these things. And I remember 2 weeks after she passed away, I had set an appointment to get a tattoo.
Mm.
And that same day was the day I met my husband, who would be my husband.
Whoa.
And I remember meeting him, and he was telling me that he had just lost his grandfather like a week before. We lost our grandparents a week apart. And I just remember him talking about his grandfather was his best friend and how all these things. So we got to talk about them in this very, now that was my guy, that was
Yep.
my girl. We went hunting. I'm like,
Yep.
my grandma taught me how to hide credit cards
Yeah.
and like all these things. So, so I never felt myself just be sad about her leaving. Every time I got to talk about her, it was in this very jovial, I miss her like she
Yeah.
was that girl, and the stories about her even more hilarious. But my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer 4 months after my grandmother passed
Oh,
away.
man.
And that situation was just, it was heartbreaking, but my mother was even more of a soldier than my grandmother. So to witness her go through it, but also at that particular point, I was in my first job, first career job, but they let me move back home to help take care of my mother. So my dad retired, and I moved back home to take care of my mom. And so I spent every day with her for her last 6 months on earth. And there's something about having that much time with someone that's leaving, but
Yeah.
also watching them deteriorate,
Yeah.
that you loosen your grip on trying to keep them here, because I just did not want to see her suffer. Like, she went from this pinnacle of beauty, and she was beautiful to the very end, but to see how she couldn't, it wasn't her version of beautiful. She didn't feel her version of beautiful. So there was that, and also being sick and her not feeling well, that made, like, I had to tell her on her last day, like, it's okay to go. And so I felt like I had grieved slowly before she passed away. So by the time she did, I was grateful for the time I had with her. She was an incredible woman, an incredible mother, an incredible grandmother. And the honor I had for how she fought, I was like, all right, I'm soldier number 3 now.
Yeah.
Granny, mama, now it's my turn. So whatever's coming my way, I like, grandma was version 1, mom was version 2.
Carmeon 3.0.
I'm 3.0.
Yeah.
So I got it. And that ultimately led to, this was the kind of mom my mom was. This was the kind of woman she was. This was her as a professional. This was her as a friend. I'm going to be all that. And what extra seasoning can I put on top of it? And so building community and having friends that I showed up for, and that we gathered, and me showing up for my son in ways, and being a wife to my husband. Like, I was an overachiever, people pleaser.
Yeah.
Like, it really kicked in after that. And when my husband passed away, it was like, fuck everybody and everything. Immediately. All I have is me.
That's right.
So what kind of life do I want to live where I'm totally okay with leaving here at any particular moment? And that's what it's been ever since. What kind of life do I want to live every moment of every day where I'm perfectly fine with leaving in an instant?
Wow.
And That's what carries me every day.
Wow.
Every day.
People say that all the time and they do not mean it.
I mean
I
it.
believe that you mean it.
I mean it.
Because that's what, like, anytime I encounter you, that's how you show up. Like, in your fullness.
Absolutely.
Like, the way you are with your kid, the way you are with your friends, the way you are with your work, the way you are with me when I see you. Like, it is full on.
Yes. If you
Every
never see me
time.
again after this instant,
That's right.
you're going to know how I felt about
That's
you.
right.
We're going to get the best hug.
Carmeon!
We're going to laugh hard.
Real hard.
All
We're
of the
going to
above.
party good. We're going to do some good work. We're going to everything.
All of it. Yes.
Man, you are an American hero. That is so dope.
I haven't heard American Hero. I was going to say Memphis Hero, but I'll take American.
Because I mean,
love it.
we think about, we talk about culture on this show all the time. We talk about love all the time. And it is rare to know somebody who actually shows up in that way all the time. Like the way you treat people, the way you ride from Memphis, the way that you like all the things that you do. I get it now. I get it. I feel like I got to know you a little bit more just now. I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Oh, yes, that is what it is. Carmeon leaves it all on the table.
I leave it all on the table.
In every moment. Does that make you tired?
Absolutely. I am a walking oxymoron because that is me. I am all gas, no brakes, all the time. And I'm constantly telling myself, like, you could use a nap. Like, a nap is okay. But even then, like, I can't do it. But I'm so fueled by the connections I have and the work that I do and just... So I get tired, but I'm never too tired to disconnect. Yes, I'm never weary. Yeah. I say never. I'm very rarely weary. So I push through. Like if I'm tired and you call and say you want to go, I'm going. I'm going. It's a yes.
Do you vacation?
I do. And I was doing so well until this year. I'm like, this year I have like completely fallen off the map. I've taken one for fun trip and it was to DC and I had a blast. But I'm usually at about 3 or 4 trips a year that are just for fun.
Really?
For fun.
That's so impressive.
I try my best.
Oh, teach me your ways.
I know, right? They are literally, and I mean, it could be a train ride to New Orleans for 2 nights just to do something, get away. But yeah, I'm behind this year.
Get on it.
I know.
I mean, you have been traveling a lot for work. You've been working a lot this year.
I have.
Let's talk a little bit about your work.
Yes.
Tell us, what does your work day look like? Or every day's different. So what does your work month look like?
Okay. Work month, work quarter, work. Well, my predominant work on a day-to-day is my design business, Newbie Interiors. Yes. I slowly crept back into it because I put it on the back burner with television production and everything. So I'm currently working with one residential and one commercial client
I love it.
who I love. Both I love dearly, very passionate about these projects. So I'm either sourcing or I'm meeting with them or meeting with my assistant, meeting with the contractor, talking to somebody about it. I also am working with brands doing social media partnerships. So I'm creating content in front of somebody's camera.
At all times.
All the time.
Literally every day.
All the time. If it's not somebody else's, it's my own. For sure. And TV. So HGTV, as lovely as they are, like for some reason we can't get it together on my own show. I loved Reno My Rental and I wanted to come back and it was beautiful and it was necessary, but did not get renewed after its first season. But they have kept me busy since then. So I've appeared on Hometown Takeover. I've appeared on 100-Day Hotel Challenge that is currently airing.
Yes. I watched the first 2 episodes this morning. I was like, when is Carmeon coming on? I don't care about these
She's
people.
on episode 3 that came out last night. So yes.
Yeah, I watched it today.
Yes. And this year they honored me with allowing me to design the 2024 Urban Oasis home.
Really?
Yes. Yes. So
That's dope.
I'm doing
Those houses are always
lots of things.
cool.
Yes, they are very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. The sweepstakes for that one starts, I think, on October 2nd. So you can win the house.
I'm going to win that. Where is it this year?
It is in Kansas City.
Kansas
City.
They
just announced it. So I said the same thing. I said the same thing, like, but you think about it. Okay, Kansas City won the Super Bowl this year.
They did. I have forgotten that.
Yes.
I blocked it out.
I did too, until I had to be reminded.
Yes.
But once I got there, like Kansas City, I was like, okay, Kansas City is like a Memphis cousin.
Oh.
It feels much more Southern than it feels Midwestern.
Really?
Yes. And their arts culture is incredible.
I'm intrigued.
And they are like one of the birthplaces of jazz.
It's true. And they have the barbecue thing.
Barbecue.
They say they do.
They say they do.
Yeah.
I refuse to eat it because I don't eat barbecue outside of Memphis.
Why would you?
But they say they're similar-ish. They do the whatever. I will not discuss. But very cute city. And like I'm like, okay, Kansas City. But the house itself is pretty dope.
Of course.
It's dope.
I mean, that's dope.
Yeah.
Is Reno My Rental still streaming?
It is still streaming. Okay. It is streaming everywhere.
If you haven't seen Reno My Rental,
you better go.
You need to stream it. And I'm not just saying that because Carmeon's my friend. It's like a really dope show.
It is. There
really
are
is.
So few pieces of content that are professionally produced around rentals.
That's right.
And the majority of the country rents.
That's right.
And they wonder why their viewership is down on every platform when it comes to
house
renovations. Like, because ain't nobody got no money.
No.
And ain't nobody got no house.
It is. And I think it's just like to your point earlier, you're like, everybody deserves something beautiful.
Yes.
And I saw you go into these like regular ass apartments. And by the time you left, it was just like,
Sparkle,
sparkle. That one is one apartment that you did that I still keep in my mind as like how I want my house to look. It was the one where you like did the buildings and then painted the buildings and the walls all the same color. So it looked like that thing was so beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yes, because renters deserve.
And as a homeowner who is like literally like a month ago was like, why did I buy this house? This is too much space. It's too much responsibility. I'm never here. I'm always on the road.
I'm that way every other month.
I'm like, I have a whole finished attic. I have not been upstairs in a year. Why did I buy this house? Who did I think was going to live here? What were you doing? And I'm like, does anyone want to purchase my home? It is available. Just call me and we can work something out. But I literally am like, I want an apartment or a condo or something that feels more right size for my life. But I still want it to be
yours.
Gorgeous.
Yes. Because it should be.
That's right.
It absolutely should be.
That's right.
Yes. Home ownership is not for the weary. And my house is done and I live in it and still want to throw it away sometimes.
AC man was at my house today telling me how much it's going to cost to replace my thing. Like,
I'm just going to go to school. I'm going to trade school so I don't have to pay.
I'll do HVAC.
I'll do
plumbing and electric. And then
Davin will pick up the slack on everything else.
Come
yes.
on.
Yes.
Home ownership. So if you live in an apartment or a condo or a smaller space, you need to watch this show because it will teach you how to have an apartment, like be a renter, to your point, like most of America, because most people can't afford to buy a house.
Right. And a lot of people don't want to buy a house. Like you hear
me.
Our conversation,
like me.
It's more work than you realize.
I'm everyone right now to buy a house. I'm like, do not. I get it, wealth creation, all that, but you know what?
Peace of mind.
There's got to be another way to
peace
build
of
wealth.
Mind. Yeah, go find you a financial
I
advisor and a whatever letters IRA, whatever that is. You build it somewhere
Roth,
else.
Something.
Yes, something like that.
Piggy bank, something. Yeah. Okay. So the new show that you're on right now, that this season, the episode 3 is coming out.
Yes. It just aired
And
not
how
even
was that
24
for
hours
you? What is
ago.
it called? 100-day
100-day
hotel
hotel challenge.
challenge.
Yes.
And that's with Brian and Mika.
Uh-huh.
This is the couple who does the things on the thing. Y'all,
Yes.
HGTV.
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm.
You know, it's fascinating to me how they always have these couples. We don't have to talk about that right now. But I'm like,
There is a formula.
there's a formula. Can we try something
Uh-huh.
different? Anyway, that's not my business.
Mhm.
But for you, like, how was that show? And how is it for you working in TV now after having your own show and like
Mhm.
doing all of these show up things now?
Yes, I love it. I
Do
love
you?
popping up, making an appearance.
Yes.
That is fun. And this particular project, 100-day hotel challenge felt like summer camp. Like it was just fun, especially when so many talent
Yes.
people are involved. Like
Yes.
we're all there at different times, but sometimes a lot of us are there in big pockets. So
Mhm.
and there's a lot of downtime on these shows. So you see us
Mhm.
doing a lot, like we're painting and everything, but then they'll stop us so the
Yes, so
people
the
can
real
go
people
in and
can go.
like actually finish
Right,
the work
right.
properly.
We see you with a sledgehammer for 30 seconds.
Yes.
Cut!
Y'all got it. I got you started. Yes. So while they're actually working, we have downtime. So
Yeah.
we are literally like little kids at summer camp
Oh, that's
playing.
amazing.
And Brian, I was on Team Brian, and
Mhm.
he is an incredible human being.
Mm.
Loved every minute with him. And also shout out to him. He lost his grandmother
Oh. Oh,
yesterday, a
no.
couple days after I lost mine. So yes,
Yep.
just got done talking to him,
Yep.
but love him and Mika.
Mm.
They are really what you see on TV. Like
Yep.
they are another set that don't fake the funk.
We
Just
love
good
it.
people. But yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. It's work, but they make sure we're having fun, so
Yep.
it looks like we're having fun on
Yep.
TV. So production does everything they can to make sure we're
That's
having fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I keep looking at my watch because I was like, we're going to talk for 15 more minutes, and it's been 25 more minutes. Because
I can talk all day.
And I can
Truly.
talk to you all day. So we're going to wrap, but I just want to give you space to say whatever's on your heart because I trust your heart so much, Carmeon. And I feel like you're one of the people who I'm happy is on social media talking to 150,000 people. There's a lot of people who I wish would just
would
shut the
just
F up.
go away and find a dark corner.
Yeah,
Yes.
or something. May you find your joy somewhere else.
Indeed. Yes.
You, friend, though. Every time I'm like, yes, tell the people the things. Tell the people.
Tell the people the things.
So I'm like really curious about like what you're thinking about in your life right now, what you're struggling with, what you're excited about. Like, what is your conundrum? Like, what is your life lesson? Like, what's happening for you?
Yes, I am currently in a beautiful whirlwind. My lots of things have changed. I'm in a season of I know where I'm going, but Lord, did I forget my overnight bag?
Yeah.
I got a rock in my shoe. I left my water. Like so it's that.
Yeah.
So I am restructuring my company, and that has involved a change in team. So right now it's just me.
Wow.
And it hasn't been just me in 3 years. So
yeah.
it's been interesting.
Yeah.
Like, oh, every email. Okay. Got
Girl, that is the bane of my existence. That email is gonna take me out.
Woo.
Yikes.
So, but it's been I also just finished a round of executive coaching. So I was prepared for all of this. And my executive coaching also included my executive coach is also very rooted in wellness. And very early on, I had to get back to taking care of myself because it was something I had neglected. And so even in the midst of all the crazy things, I make sure that I put myself and my wellness and all of those things first. And what outside of that, the other thing that carries me daily is just gratitude. Because it is easy to look up and go, this isn't right, this isn't right, this person got me effed up, this person can go to hell, forget these taxes, like all of that. Like it's very easy to focus on that. And that's where I was 6 months ago,
Mm.
like just buried. And
Mm.
when I shifted my perspective and looked at all of the things I have to be grateful for,
Yeah.
and I could have nothing and still find something to be grateful for. But when you shift to gratitude, you lose 10 pounds.
That's
like
right.
instantly.
That's right.
And so being able to find the beauty in the small moments, that comes from looking through the lens of gratitude all the time. And that's in the midst of loss and grief. That's in the midst of chaos with work, parenting. If you got a crazy kid, thank God mine is not, at least not all the time. But I want people to just pause and take inventory of what they're grateful for and carry that daily. And hopefully it's something different to be grateful for every day, even if it's you got toilet paper today.
Listen,
like, because
that's a gift.
It is a gift.
I remember a time when we didn't.
Amen. Do you know the feeling when you don't have it and you forgot to buy some?
Right.
Like, so find just gratitude. I'm in a very beautiful place currently, and it's just gonna get better. I'm excited where my business is going.
Yeah.
It's shifting to big girl things.
Yes.
And I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the community that I've built
Yes.
here, including people like yourself.
Yes.
So I am blessed beyond measure.
That's so
Truly,
great.
truly.
Love begins with gratitude.
It does.
Every time. Thank you for talking to me.
Of course.
I love you.
I love you.
Next time we'll do this without the cameras. We'll get into the real dirt. That's a wrap. Woo, that was good conversation.
I loved it. Loved it.
How much do you love Carmeon? She's so wonderful. She is the sweetest, most joyful, most creative and inspiring person I know. I'm so happy that she was on the show. I'm so happy you got to experience her. Again, if you don't follow Carmeon, you definitely should. On Instagram at Carmeon Hamilton. That's Carmeon Hamilton. Y'all know how to spell Hamilton. You saw the show. Stop asking me that. Oh, James. James is okay. He's okay. Here, just give it to me. We're gonna put all this on the show. Now I'm gonna hold James. You know what? Give it. It's okay. It's okay. No, don't take it down. Leave it. Leave it. Get out of my shot, Renisha. I just want y'all to know that was Renisha. She doesn't know it, but she's about to be on the internet. She thought we were gonna cut that out, but we're not. So James, I think that James, who, like a true Leo, wanted some more attention. So he decided to jump off the wall and jump into my lap. And we know James's 100th birthday was last week. We talked about this on the last episode. On episode 1, make sure y'all go. He wanted me to remind you to go listen to Baldwin 100, the podcast that talks all about his legacy and his life for his 100th birthday. Yeah, you remember that? So he's going to be with me for the rest of the time. So, are you ready, James? So, so coming soon, there has been a release of a new trailer for a new movie called Exhibiting Forgiveness. It is apparently all the rage at the festival circuit. It's Andre Holland, Andra Day, Ajanelle Ellis Taylor, and John Earl Jelks. I don't know who that is. I know who all those other people are, but I'm sure that John Earl Jelks did a great job, and that when we get to know who he is, we're gonna love him too. See, he's gonna be great. I don't know when it's coming in the theaters, but we should really look out for it because, like, the reviews on this film are off the charts. It's called Exhibiting Forgiveness. Remember that? Exhibiting Forgiveness. Great. That's our coming soon. We're gonna close now, James and I. Uncle James, you have anything that you want to tell the people? Oh, you just wanted me to tell them about your podcast, and it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you, sir. We love you so much. All right, let's see. We're out of here, y'all. Yeah. Is that everything? Yes. That's all I have to say about all of this stuff. I have a board meeting to go to because I told y'all already I have a busy day because I overpacked my day because I left by accident for a whole day. So let me get out of here and get on my podcast closing so I can go to my board meeting. If you want to hear more about the Big We or the Weverse or our podcast or Historic Claiborne Temple or the Foundation or any of the billion things we do, you know how to find me. You can find us on Instagram at The Big We. You can follow me at Anasa Troutman. You can also, I think I'm on Facebook still. I don't really go on there, but you can go on there. I think the stuff goes over there. And like, I'm threatening to start a TikTok page. So maybe look for me on TikTok. There might be one piece of content there, maybe two. I don't know. We'll find out. If you have something you want to say to me and James, you want to reach out directly, we have a text number. You can find us. It's 901-676-7372. 901-676-7372. Then you can send us a text message and we'll answer you right back. We want to shout out to Walter Pearson and the Sunstorm Studios. But today, Walter's not here. Ralph did our engineering today. And y'all know I love me some Ralph. We go way back. 7 years I've been knowing Ralph. So thank you. Thank you, Ralph, for engineering today. And as always, we want to thank the meticulous and prepared Tim Meyer of Boom Came Creative, who does all of our video. You see all these cameras? It's like 8 cameras in here, y'all. He really goes to the wall for us, and we love it. This has been a love offering from the Big We family. We will see you out in the Weverse. A massive, big love shout out to my Weverse family, all the Big We staff, especially Renisha Mays, who always saves the day. I think that's all we have to say. We'll see y'all next episode, okay? I love you.